Hello, Radiant Leo. You didn't land on this video by accident. Something extraordinary is about to unfold, a financial shock is coming, and yes, it could move you to tears. But not from pain, from joy. From relief. From the sudden realization that the universe has been listening all along. Welcome to Eternal Mindfulness, your cosmic sanctuary where divine timing meets real transformation. Today's horoscope reading isn't just a forecast, it's a portal. A sacred message that's been circling your energy field, waiting for this exact moment to find you. So let me ask you. Have you ever stopped hoping for something so long that you forgot what it felt like to expect it? Because that's exactly where the magic begins. Leo, if you felt exhausted from holding it all together, if you've smiled through pressure, walked through uncertainty, and still chosen kindness, then listen closely. This message is your mirror. A reflection of everything you've poured into the world finally returning to you, multiplied. And what's coming? It may be a long-lost debt finally paid, a surprise bonus, a payment you gave up on, or even an unexpected gift from someone who never truly forgot your generosity. Whatever it is, it will feel almost surreal, like the universe cracked open a window just for you. And in that moment, you might cry, not because you're broken, but because you're finally seen. But let me be clear. This is not luck. It's alignment. It's your energy catching up with your effort. It's divine reciprocity. Before we dive deeper, let me take a moment to honor you. Thank you. Truly. Every like you leave, every comment you share, every time you subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness, you're not just supporting a channel. You're helping build a sacred space for people who are ready to live aligned, intentional lives. You are part of something much greater than you know. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for showing up today. And trust me, Leo, you're going to want to stay with me until the very last second of this reading. Because what the universe is revealing today is nothing short of breathtaking. I invite you now to take a deep breath. Feel the pulse of your own heart. And ask yourself, what called me here today? Drop a comment below and let me know. Because when you speak it into the world, you claim it. You tell the universe, yes, I am ready to receive. Let's explore this together. Because the moment you stop expecting, is often the moment the blessing arrives. And Leo, yours is here. There's something sacred about the moment when joy arrives after a long silence. It's not loud. It's not showy. It doesn't come crashing through the door. It often arrives in a whisper, soft, unexpected, and so honest that your body doesn't know what to do but cry. But these aren't the tears of sorrow. They are tears that rise from the deepest places inside you, from chambers in your heart you thought had closed long ago. Today, for you, Leo, the universe is peeling back a veil, just enough for you to glimpse the truth. What you thought was lost was never truly gone. It was merely waiting for the right time to return. The energy of May 25th speaks to this timing. There's a quiet orchestration happening behind the scenes of your life, and though you may have felt stuck, blocked, or simply weary from trying, something larger has been moving on your behalf. That something doesn't need a name, it's simply life, flowing again after a long pause. And when it does, when the flow returns, your first instinct may be to cry. Because suddenly, you remember how much you were holding. You feel how much you were hoping without even realizing it. You see that even in your doubt, you still had faith. And that kind of realization shakes something loose inside. The Star and 10 of Cups together in your reading is a luminous sign. The Star is the card of quiet hope, the hope that survives even when you've stopped expecting. It's the reminder that even when the night sky feels empty, light is still there, just waiting for you to look up again. The 10 of Cups, on the other hand, is the fullness of love, the completion of an emotional cycle. It's not just happiness, it's fulfillment. Together, they don't just suggest good news, they suggest restoration. A returning to yourself, your peace, your sense of safety in the world. Now, for some of you, this might manifest as literal, tangible blessings. Maybe you receive financial news that leaves you stunned, an unexpected reimbursement, a long-lost payment, a bonus that wasn't even on your radar. Maybe someone offers you something that, even just a week ago, you'd have said was impossible. And when it arrives, it's not just about the money. It's about what it symbolizes. The return of energy. The confirmation that you are supported. That you are not forgotten. This is why your tears today, if they come, are sacred. They are not weakness. They are release. They are the body's way of shedding the old tension that came from carrying hope on your own for so long. Imagine it like a dam breaking, but gently, like petals falling from a flower that has bloomed in secret. These emotions are not to be rushed through. Let them move through you. Let them teach you what it feels like to receive, not because you pushed or chased or earned, but because you allowed. In stillness, when you're no longer striving to control or predict, you become like a clear lake. And in that clarity, the reflection of your true self becomes visible again. This is the kind of moment that transforms, not because it changes your life overnight, but because it changes your relationship to it. You no longer feel like you're grasping. You begin to remember what it's like to trust. So today, take a breath and write down 3 things you thought you'd lost. Let them come to the surface. And then pay attention. One of them might already be finding its way back to you, not in the form you expected, but in the exact form your soul needs. Because sometimes, we're not crying because we're broken. We're crying because we've been strong for so long, and finally, something soft is coming to hold us. When something you've long let go of suddenly returns, especially in the form of money, abundance, or unexpected support, it can stir a quiet disbelief. There's a moment where you wonder if it's real, if you deserve it, if it will last. But that hesitation, that doubt, is not a sign of unworthiness. It's a reflection of how long you've been surviving without what you needed. And now, Leo, as the energy of May 25th continues to unfold, the message is clear: this gift is not random. It is not luck. It is the natural response to your persistent effort, your unseen endurance, and your unwavering heart. The truth is, the universe responds not to how loudly we ask, but to how deeply we align. You have been aligning, even without knowing it. Every time you chose patience over bitterness, every time you gave when you had little, every time you stayed true to your path even when no one was watching, you were planting seeds. And just because the garden took time to bloom doesn't mean it forgot how. The arrival of money or opportunity now isn't compensation, it's confirmation. It's life saying, I see you. I haven't missed a thing. The numbers that vibrate today, 6 and 26, echo this very balance. 6 is the number of harmony, service, and nurturing. It reminds us that true abundance is shared, not hoarded. 26, on a deeper level, blends this nurturing quality with the root number 8, 2 plus 6, the number of power and material success. Together, they suggest that prosperity today flows not just to you, but through you. That's why this moment is about more than receiving, it's about how you hold what arrives. Do you cling to it in fear? Or do you let it circulate with gratitude? In many teachings, it's said that what we do with what we're given determines what life gives us next. That's not karma as punishment, it's rhythm. Like breath. You inhale to receive. You exhale to give. And if today, you've received something you didn't expect, a transfer, a refund, a surprise raise, pause before reacting. Consider honoring this cycle by dividing it consciously. Maybe a third supports your well-being, your body, your rest, your joy. Maybe another third flows to someone or something that needs it more than you right now. And the rest? Let it become a bridge to your future self, invested in growth, not survival. And most importantly, allow yourself to feel worthy of it. That's the core wound many of us carry, the idea that good things must be earned through suffering. But life doesn't work like a ledger. It works like a field. You cultivate. You tend. And then, one day, something blooms, not because you demanded it, but because the conditions were finally right. Today is such a day. So when the tears come, not from grief, but from sudden understanding, let them. Let them wash away the internal story that said you had to wait longer, work harder, be better just to be enough. Let this moment remind you that you already are enough. That the money is not just for your bills or your plans, but for your healing. For your dignity. For the quiet validation that you were never forgotten in the grand order of things. This is not a windfall, it's a mirror. Reflecting back to you a truth that's been inside all along: you are not lucky. You are aligned. You are not taking too much. You are finally receiving what was always meant for you. Let it in with open hands. And then, let it move through you with open heart. After receiving something beautiful, especially something you've been waiting for silently, or something that arrived unexpectedly after so much inner work, there's a natural instinct to hold it close. To keep it private, almost like protecting a flame from the wind. But here's the thing: joy, like light, expands when it's shared. It doesn't get smaller when you let others see it, it actually becomes more radiant, more rooted. The financial blessing or energetic shift that touched you today isn't just about security or material gain. It's a powerful moment of expansion that ripples through your emotional field. And this ripple becomes even more profound when you let it reach the people you love. When something good happens to you, it's not indulgent to celebrate it. It's not arrogant to speak it aloud. It's generous. Because your joy has the potential to awaken something in someone else. The same way your past struggles helped others feel less alone, your current joy gives others permission to hope again. That's why, if you've received news today that shifted your world even a little, a raise, a payment, an unexpected gift, or simply a deep sense of peace, it matters that you don't keep it hidden. Not for validation, not for attention, but as an offering. A reflection. A living example that good things do come, even when we least expect them. The Ace of Pentacles in your tarot spread is about new beginnings in the material realm, money, work, home, and tangible security. It's the seed of something stable, something that can grow. Paired with the Page of Wands, the messenger of fresh energy and personal inspiration, this is more than just a financial start, it's a doorway to emotional connection. And not just with anyone, but with people who are close to your heart. These cards together suggest that your current moment isn't just about you. It's about the collective warmth that arises when your light is allowed to shine fully in shared spaces. Think of this like the practice of pouring tea for someone else before you pour for yourself. Not as a gesture of self-sacrifice, but as a ritual of connection. When you invite someone to celebrate with you, even through a small gesture like sharing a meal or texting a friend just to say, "Today was a good day," you affirm that abundance is real, and that it can be honored communally. It becomes part of a larger story, one where success and joy are not lonely peaks, but bridges that pull others forward too. Even if you're walking this path alone right now, your shift in energy is noticeable. It's not about wearing your joy loudly, it's about allowing your inner radiance to naturally express itself. You might find that someone who has quietly admired you steps a little closer. Or that a conversation deepens effortlessly. Sometimes, when our vibration changes, it calls forth the people meant to meet us where we are now, not where we used to be. And so, this is your gentle reminder: don't shrink to make others comfortable, but don't isolate either. Share. Speak. Invite. Whether you're surrounded by family or building your chosen circle of belonging, this moment is not just for you to enjoy, it's for you to live inside of, with others. That is what makes it real. So if joy found you today, let it move. Let it echo through your relationships, your laughter, your table, your words. You are not stealing space by celebrating. You are expanding it for everyone around you. Because when one light shines, others find their way, too. Excitement is a beautiful thing, but even joy can be overwhelming if we don't allow space for our body and mind to process it. After a wave of good news, especially something as impactful as unexpected financial support or material breakthrough, it's easy to get swept up in the rush of emotion, ideas, and possibility. And yet, the moment following a breakthrough is one of the most important times to pause, to breathe, and to ground yourself. Because that's when your internal system is most sensitive, most absorbent. It's not about rejecting joy or downplaying the significance of the blessing. It's about welcoming it in a way that allows it to settle, to root, and to nourish you from within. Think of your nervous system like a tuning fork. It vibrates in response to every wave of emotion, including happiness. If joy arrives too fast or too intensely, it can push us into a kind of overstimulation, where we feel dizzy with ideas, uncertain where to act first, or even strangely exhausted after something wonderful. This is your body asking for integration. And integration begins with stillness. With care. With presence. When you receive something beautiful, the highest form of respect you can offer it is to absorb it mindfully, not rush to prove that you deserve it or fear that it might disappear. That's why today, more than ever, it's important to listen to your physical cues. A simple 15-minute walk can help re-regulate your breath and connect your mind back to your body. Moving through space, especially in nature, helps circulate new energy through your muscles, your blood, your cells. It turns static excitement into flowing momentum. Likewise, sipping warm lemon water isn't just a health ritual, it's a form of active presence. It anchors you in your body, reminding you that abundance isn't just a thought, it's something you can feel, digest, and hold. Colors, too, can be part of this process of energetic grounding. Sapphire blue, with its deep and calming essence, offers balance to the rapid fire of excitement. It encourages clarity, reflection, and mental quiet. Gold, on the other hand, symbolizes the worthiness that today's blessings affirm. Together, they create a visual and emotional contrast that reflects your current journey, rootedness and radiance. Calm and confidence. The two are not at odds, they support each other. You are allowed to glow, and you are allowed to rest. There's also a gentle caution here, because with gain comes temptation. When money arrives, especially unexpectedly, the mind often leaps to the next thing, where to spend, what to upgrade, how to catch up. But rushing into decision-making while emotions are high can leave you misaligned later. Let yourself enjoy the expansion without reacting to it impulsively. Financial energy, like all energy, responds best to clear, calm intention. Give yourself a full breath of awareness before you act. You don't need to spend to celebrate. Sometimes, the real celebration is found in the restraint that honors how far you've come. In stillness, we can hear the quiet truths that celebration often drowns out, that your worth was never tied to what you had, but how you held it. That your body is not a machine for manifesting more, but a sacred vehicle for experiencing what already is. And that the greatest wealth of all is found in moments of deep, quiet presence, when you feel safe, grounded, and grateful enough not to chase anything more. So breathe deeply. Savor the moment. Let it bloom slowly inside you. And remember that balance is not the enemy of abundance, it's the condition that allows it to last. When something good finally arrives, especially after a long period of uncertainty, there's often a quiet disbelief that follows. A part of you might whisper, "What if this is just a one-time thing?" But that voice, however familiar, is rooted in old survival patterns, not truth. Because the blessing that has reached you today isn't an isolated miracle, it's a signal of a shift. A doorway. The beginning of a new rhythm of receiving, one that becomes sustainable not through luck, but through presence, intention, and inner alignment. When the Wheel of Fortune appears alongside the Queen of Pentacles, we're no longer talking about fleeting success. We're talking about grounded transformation. The wheel is movement, karma, timing. The Queen is wisdom, stewardship, and the quiet knowing of enough. Together, they mark a turning point in your financial narrative, not just a rise in your bank balance, but a rise in your capacity to hold and circulate abundance in a way that is mature, mindful, and whole. Today's gift, however it has shown up, whether in money, opportunity, or support, is not a standalone event. It's the beginning of a current. And like any current, it needs a channel. If you meet this new flow with panic or disbelief, you may try to grasp or overextend. If you meet it with gratitude and clarity, you become the vessel through which it grows. This is where the real work begins, not in chasing more, but in choosing how to respond. Consider documenting what's happening right now. Write it down. Not just the facts, but the feeling. Where were you when you received the news? What part of your body lit up first? What thoughts surfaced? This simple act of recording locks the energy in. It teaches your nervous system what it feels like to receive without fear. It tells your subconscious, this is safe. I can hold this. I can allow more of this. What you're experiencing isn't random. It's the fruit of deeper alignment, an invisible harmony between what you asked for, what you've prepared for, and what you're ready to carry forward. That's why it's important to resist the urge to call it luck. That word, while tempting, strips the experience of your own agency. And this moment, above all, is proof of your participation in your own unfolding. Nothing fell from the sky. Everything flowed to you because you opened space for it to arrive. And now, the most important question becomes, what will you give in return? Not out of obligation. Not to earn the next gift. But to keep the current alive. Generosity is not a payment, it's a partnership. When you give from a place of wholeness, you're not depleting yourself, you're sustaining the channel. Think of your energy, your resources, your time, as water flowing through a garden. You don't control every drop, but you do get to tend the soil. Where will you plant next? Who can you uplift now that you're standing taller? This is how the cycle continues, not with grasping, not with fear, but with a quiet readiness to stay in motion. To let life move through you. And when you do, you begin to notice that the abundance isn't just external. It's not the money. It's not the opportunity. It's the deep, steady knowing that you are part of a larger flow, and that your presence, your decisions, your awareness, all shape how that flow evolves. So breathe it in. Ground yourself. And ask gently, if I was chosen to receive today, how can I become someone who keeps the flow alive tomorrow? If you're still here with me now, then I know, today wasn't just another day in your week. It was something more. A quiet turning point. A soft opening into a space you may have thought was closed forever. Maybe you didn't expect anything. Maybe you pressed play out of curiosity, or simply by chance. But nothing truly meaningful ever arrives randomly. Your presence here is proof that your energy was already calling out for confirmation, and the universe responded, not with a loud answer, but with a gentle nod, saying, yes. This is for you. So take a moment to really breathe that in. Let the emotions settle, not rush past them. If something today moved you to tears, to reflection, to silence, that's sacred. It means something shifted. It means that deep within you, a part that was once doubting has now remembered its worth. You didn't stumble into this message. You attracted it. Not because of chance, but because of resonance. And that resonance? It only grows stronger when you act on it. So now I ask you, what will you do with what you've received today? Will you journal it, speak it, share it? Will you take one quiet step in the direction of your own light? Maybe that means resting when you'd normally keep pushing. Maybe it means opening up to someone you've held at a distance. Maybe it simply means saying yes to a version of yourself you've long postponed. Whatever it is, it starts with a decision, to believe that what you want is already within reach. And when that belief begins to feel real, not just in your mind, but in your body, you start to show up differently. You walk softer, but with more certainty. You trust more, but demand less. You stop asking, will it come, and begin asking, how can I welcome it more fully? And Leo, if there's one thing I know about your energy, it's that when you believe in your own radiance, there's nothing you can't magnetize. But don't keep this experience locked away inside. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, what part of this message was meant just for you? What moment in today's video made you pause, breathe, or feel something real? Your story might be the very spark someone else needs to believe again. So let's build that ripple together. And if you felt even the tiniest wave of peace or clarity or hope during our time here, let that be your cue to stay connected. Subscribe, hit the like button, turn on the bell, because this isn't the end of the message. It's the beginning of a new chapter, and I'd love to walk it with you. Let this community be your reminder that you are not alone on this path. That there are places, spaces, and voices that reflect back your light. Leo, you are not lucky. You are aligned. You are not being given something you don't deserve. You're simply finally open enough to receive what was always on its way. Carry that knowing into your next decision, your next conversation, your next dream. And remember, the moment you believe you're worthy of more, the universe begins to rearrange everything to match that truth. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening not just with your ears, but with your soul. You are seen. You are celebrated. And this journey we're on? It's only just beginning.